So you want to be a Night Lord. So you want to hide in the corner in Dark Sight while you wait for your burst to be up during the whole boss fight. Just kidding, of course. I mean, not really, some people do play like that. But anyway, so you want to be a Night Lord. So you want to have the best burst in the entire game. You want to play a glass cannon class. I'm going to leave all that in. Then you've come to the right video. Why am I so energetic today? I have no idea. So let's go over the Link skill. So well, I guess I'll go over level 1 first. Or sorry, level 2. So when you attack a debuffed enemy or when you debuff an enemy, you get 6% damage for 10 seconds. The cooldown of that is 20 seconds. However, it can stack with Dual Blade and Shadow Warrior's Link skill, thus making it level 6, because all of them are level 2, making it 18% damage for 10 seconds, 20-second cooldown. The Legion effect is crit rate. If I can find it, here we go. And yeah, that's about it I want to explain there. I mean, you can get Echo, but I don't have Echo here. It gives you a 4% attack. You and everyone around you. So yeah, first job. We have double stab. I don't have a dagger to show this off, but you just stab twice, and yeah, it mobs. Hits 5 enemies. Lucky 7. You'll most likely be using this. Ooh, that is not Lucky 7. So there you go. It just throws like a wall of stars. I do have +2 attack speed, so it's not going to look that fast when you use it, but yeah. Also hits 5 enemies. Then we have Haste, which just increases your speed as well as your max speed. Dark Sight is going to be like your bread and butter basically for staying alive, because this class is a glass cannon class. It doesn't have any iframes until 6th job. But yeah, this class, this is a glass cannon class. Like, your burst is insane. Okay, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Dark Sight, when you use it, you sneak into the shadows and you can't be hit by a lot of things in the game. Like, you can avoid so many things, mainly debris, but like there's so many other things that you can avoid with Dark Sight, which will make boss fights much easier. Lasts for 200 seconds, and if you get hit by something while in Dark Sight, like let's say a meteor falls on your head and it says miss, that still counts towards quote-unquote getting hit. So the cooldown will be increased by 3 seconds for every hit that you take, stacking up to 5 times. However, you can continue to stay in Dark Sight even after you get hit more than 5 times. It's just that once you deactivate Dark Sight, whether through attacking or pressing the skill again, then the cooldown will be applied. And then we have Flash Jump, which it's just Flash Jump. You can do it twice, and you can do it even after doing the vertical jump, which I'll get into in, when I get to it. Nimble Body is just increases your luck. More damage, I guess. Oh, let me show some mobbing. So my pet is actually going to... I could just take off my pet. There you go, so it won't activate the thing. You're gonna see a shuriken, like, explode. That's a 5th job skill. Ignore that. There you go. Here's the mobbing. You, throw a wall of stars in front of you. I believe you can hit multiple platforms. Yep, like that. And yeah, that's basically it. It's very simple. You just throw stars. That's this whole class, by the way. You just throw stars. Okay, if you couldn't tell already, I don't like this class too much. I mean, it's fine. It's good. It's just not for me. It's my least liked class, I would say, at the moment. But anywho. Moving on to second job. We have Shuriken Burst. And Shuriken Burst, when you hit an enemy, what do you call it? The star will, like, explode when it hits them. Like, it'll stick to them and then explode. The explosion itself does mobbing damage. However, it does say that it only hits one enemy. Is that the case? Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, I guess so. I never knew that. But the explosion itself does mob. So, cool. I never noticed that. And then we have Gust Storm, which used to push enemies away. Oh, I should go over the stars, too. Oh, it actually does. Yeah, it still knocks enemies away. I just do too much damage. So yeah, most likely you'll be using Shuriken Burst as your mobbing. Even though it says it only hits one enemy, I still think it's good. Goes far. Yeah. And now I don't have to show the mobbing because I already showed it. Assassin's Mark. This, oh my god. Okay, so when you hit an enemy, it applies a debuff to the enemy. When that enemy is hit, it'll make your stars fly around the map. Like that. You see like the... So I have NX throwing stars, the water balloons, and that's why you're hearing bubbles. But as you can see, they like fly around and hit enemies. This will be your... Like, once these start one-shotting, you'll have amazing EXP gains. But yeah, 30% chance for it to happen, and it produces 2 stars. Of course, later on it does 3, but we'll get into that. Shadow Surge. So this is a dash forward. I do not believe it's a teleport. But yeah, it's a dash forward, and you can reduce the cooldown of it, because it has a 5-second cooldown. You can reduce the cooldown by hitting an enemy that is marked with the Assassin's Mark. Or later on it becomes Night Lord's Mark. And then we have Shadow Leap. This is the skill that I showed earlier, where you just... It's your vertical jump. You can even use it in the air. And yes, you can flash jump afterwards. Because technically this isn't part of your flash jump, so it's, you know, separated. Claw Mastery just increases your mastery and how many stars you can, what do you call it? How many stars you can hold. This increases your attack speed, critical throw is amazing, and physical training increases your luck and dex. So I'm gonna just show the Assassin's Mark real quick. Alright. So there you go. That's the Assassin's Mark. The purple one, not the green one. I think the green one is poison damage. But yeah, you can see this mark right here is the Assassin's Mark. Once I hit the enemy one more time, it'll then spawn extra stars that fly around. Let me get rid of my my NX stars real quick. And while we're on the topic of throwing stars, I'm gonna just show you that it doesn't really matter which stars you use. I mean, it kind of does, but it doesn't. Like, if you don't have Balanced Furies like I do, don't worry about it. Like, I have Balanced Furies, which are the highest attack stars in the game, apparently, and, you don't need them. So, okay, you might not be able to read that. Let's see, battle analysis. Okay. So, battle analysis, just ignore the skill that I'm using. Wish I can get rid of the link skill. Yeah, I'm just gonna... right now this is with Balanced Furies. You know, I should probably save this for the end of the video. Ah, whatever. Alright. So, with Balanced Furies, the most damage I did was 107, and the least I did was 3 mil. Now, oh, let me just make sure. Yeah. Now, if I were to switch, because it takes the attack of the highest star in your inventory, so now I have 27. Actually, I should probably get... Where's Subies? Hold on, let me go find some Subies. So now I have Subies, which are the worst star in the game, with or I don't know if they're the worst, but they're like the beginner ones basically. They only have 15 attack. And we're gonna try again. So I would say just use your favorite star. Don't worry too much about how much damage you're doing. If I remember correctly, pretty much all the stars, it's like a minimal gain kind of thing. But I usually go by just how the stars look. Like my personal favorite star is probably Crystal Illies. Maybe Steelies or Infinite Stars. Anyway. So yeah, there was like, what, only a 7 mil difference? I think? No. 5 mil? I don't remember what the other number was, but basically it's... Just pick whatever star you like the look of. So yeah. I just wanted to make that clear that it doesn't really matter which star you use. Just unless you just want to min-max. But yeah. Just pick whichever star you want. Alright, so next we have third job. And in third job we have triple throw, which just, you know, you throw 3 stars. Yeah, doesn't mob, just hits 3 enemies. Or, sorry, just hits a single enemy 3 times. And then we have Shuriken Challenge, which will be your mobbing skill. And then we have Dark Flare. You can place this down, and it will pulse and do damage to enemies around it. Shadow Partner basically doubles your lines, but the extra lines do 70% of the final damage that you normally do. So, yeah. Now, instead of hitting 3 times, it's going to hit 6 times. But yeah, like I said, it just doubles your lines. Spirit of the Star allows you to use all of your skills without actually using stars at all. In fact, you don't even need them in your inventory, I'm pretty sure. Enveloping Darkness. It's just status, HP, elemental resist. Venom allows you to poison enemies. Or you poison enemies when you attack. Expert Throwing. Really, really good buff. Night Lord does not need crit rate whatsoever. I think you have like 75% naturally. Alchemic Adrenaline. If you use a potion that doesn't use percent, isn't like percent based, like power elixirs and stuff like that heal a percent, then yeah, it's gonna heal quite a bit. Like instead of 5k, I think this will heal like way more. 170% more actually. And then it also gives you crit damage and knockback resist. And I already showed the mobbing, but I'll show it again anyway. And also let me put my pet on because we're about to... I just didn't want my pet to buff me. But anywho, yeah, the mobbing is just jump around using a mobbing skill. That's pretty much it. You can put down the this star thing, Dark Flare. And yeah. So I guess it's time to move on to fourth job. So moving on to fourth job, we have Quad Star. This will just be your bossing skill. You know, it's just you throw stars. Where's the surprise there? So, Showdown. This is basically the third job skill, but horizontal, and it has a much bigger hitbox. It also spawns extra stars, aside from Assassin's Mark or Night Lord's Mark. And there is a cooldown that you can see up on the top right when I use it, for the next time that they'll come out. So you can see I'm using it, the stars won't come out, and then once this goes away, now you can see the stars reappear. Not only that... Is that a spider in my wall? Ignore that. I'm probably going to cut that out. If I don't, you're listening to me right now, and I'm sorry. But, yeah, when you use it, you also apply a debuff that allows you to get extra EXP and drop rate from the enemy that you hit. The effect is halved on bosses, though, but you get 5% extra EXP and 5% extra drop rate. Eventually you can increase that by another 5%, but again, it's halved on bosses. Not only that, but enemies become untouchable for 140 seconds. Or, I don't know if that applies to the untouchable part, but I assume so, like as long as they have a debuff on their head. But anywho, untouchable enemies means that they don't have touch damage anymore. Like, you know, when you walk into an enemy, you take damage, or Night Lord, you know, has a lot of avoidability, so probably not. There we go. So it would basically get rid of that. This can be very useful for a lot of different bosses. Saren... I forgot what other bosses. I'll get a list. No, I won't. I'm lazy. Next we move on to Night Lord's Mark. And this is just an enhancement on Assassin's Mark. It increases the percent chance, as well as gives you 3 throwing stars, instead of just 2. Sudden Raid. You can use this. It's mainly for mobbing, though. It's just a massive AoE attack. Frailty Curse. So you put it down, it doesn't do damage or anything, but the enemies that it affects are slowed down and have their attack and defense reduced. Does not apply to bosses, unless you get the hyper, but we'll go over that. Then we have Maple Warrior, increases you and your party's all stat. Hero's Will allows you to get rid of and ignore abnormal status. Dark Harmony, great passive. Shadow Shifter, that's like the that right there, the like falling stump. That's that activating. It's basically another avoidability skill. And it also gives you knockback resist. Venom Toxic is basically an improvement on the third job of Venom. Claw Expert, also a great passive. And yeah, I guess I'll show some fourth job mobbing, even though I kind of already did. But yeah, I mean, this class is very nice. I guess I should go over hypers first, huh? You're gonna be using hypers anyway. But yeah, Nightlord's training actually isn't that bad. It's really good actually. Simple, has good range. It's strong. So yeah, I'd say it's good. Very good. Oh right, the list of enemies that are that you should probably. I mean, you'll be hitting all your bosses with it, but like the ones that are like really important, I guess, are like Saren. Let me get a list of the others. So just a list of things that the Untouchable debuff allows you to ignore. Magnus's Dash, Pierre's Fire Spin, Lotus's Touch Damage in Phase 3, Phase 2 Dash for Damien, Golem's Touch Damage for Lucid, Phase 2 Dash, or sorry, yeah, Phase 2 Dash for Will, the Corpse Damage over time in Varicella. For the Black Mage, Phase 1 the Night Dash, as well as Phase 2 Touch Damage, and Saren's Dash in Phase 1 as well as the Dash in Phase 2, and Sunset 1-2 and 1-2-3 slash. If you fight those bosses, you know what that means. But yeah, the Untouchable debuff is very nice. On top of Darksight, you're just, yeah. It's very, very good. So hyper passives. You can increase Showdown's damage, the amount of monsters you can hit. You can also increase the EXP and drop rate that it provides by 5%. Frailty Curse. You can reduce the attack and defense of enemies by an extra 10%. You can also slow down the enemies even more so, although you probably won't use that. You can have it work on bosses, because before this it does not work on bosses. Quad Star. You can make it do extra damage to bosses, as well as increase how many lines it does. So I have currently what is known as the hybrid build, which is like bossing and mobbing, kind of. So, or I guess technically that would be doing showdown damage and then this as well, with all three of these. So yeah, I guess this is more of a bossing build, but I guess the real bossing build doesn't actually... again, maybe. Anywho, there's like... If you need extra showdown damage, you can put it in. Also, if you're solely bossing, like only bossing, then you could reduce the enemy's attack and defense even more so, but I go with this because, you know, quad is your main bossing skill. I want to have extra drop rate, and when I'm training I want extra EXP, and then I also want the bosses to be affected by Frailty Curse, so I just went with this. Seemed nice. Actually, I guess the full mobbing would be all three of these, and then, yeah, I don't know, maybe two of these, like maybe these two. Anywho, moving on to the active hypers, we have Bleed Dart, and when you get hit by, when you hit enemies with Bleed Dart, basically they get poisoned, like a lot of poison. There's a 100% chance for them to be poisoned, or sorry, it's not poison, it's bleeding. So you bleed the enemies. And yeah, they just take extra tick damage. Your attack is also increased, and the duration is 90 seconds with no cooldown, so you can put it on your pets. Death Star, this is basically kind of sudden raid, but like more above you than around you. But yeah. You just throw stars. Oops. Has a cooldown of 14 seconds. It's kind of like another AoE skill. Epic Adventurer increases you and your party, as long as they're explorers, damage by 10%. I didn't show it, but whatever. So yeah, let's move on to 5th job. So now we move on to 5th job. And I'll go over the boost nodes, which are Assassin's Mark, Showdown, and Quad Star. And then your secondary trio is going to be Dark Flare, Sudden Raid, and Death Star. And that's basically all you need. The skills themselves now. Sugarcane. When you use it, you throw a star very far, but you can actually shorten the distance that it goes by pressing the skill again after the star comes out. Just like that. Normally it goes off screen from here, but I'll show that in 20 seconds. And then we have Dark Lord's Omen. Let me go down here to show it. So you summon this, which then spits out like a bunch of throwing stars. It's basically like constant Assassin's Mark being thrown out. And then after a certain amount of time, or if you press the skill again, it explodes and does damage to enemies. And then we have Throw Blasting. And this skill is insane for your burst. Basically, every time you hit an enemy... Well, okay, the passive effect is... when you hit an enemy, that's like the exploding star that you saw. It'll just explode in the area that of the first enemy you hit. However, when you activate it, for 90 seconds, you get, I think, 68, well, it says right there, 68 exploding stars. And for each attack that you do, they explode and do a lot of damage. You'll see when I go bossing, this skill is insanely powerful. And then we have Throwing Star Barrage. I just call it Spread Throw. But basically what it does is, instead of having one stream of stars, you have 4. So now I have 4 streams, which means that I want to make sure that I'm as close as the enemy as possible, because I'm basically a shotgun. Hold on a second. So you go from being a mid-range class to being a very close-range class. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You do have to be very close to the enemy if you want all 4 streams to hit. And because you're throwing so many stars, Throw Blasting is like capitalizing on that and doing so much damage. So yeah. That's what makes Night Lord just so insane. Is these 2 skills together. And then, of course, when these skills are off on cooldown, you're back to doing a single line of stars. Oh my god, this class is thirsty. And yeah, that's the 5th job skills. Is there anything else I want to... What do I usually go over after this? I guess the bossing? Yeah. Well, let me show some 5th job mobbing first, and then I'll show some bossing. So, mobbing in 5th job. Put this in the middle of the map. And just watch the stars fly. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Of course, if I was in a stronger area, they wouldn't be one-shotting, but... You know, if you are one-shotting, it's incredible. Yeah, you're just gonna be jumping around doing that. And then, like I said, there's a small cooldown to passive Throw Blasting. Once that cooldown is over, there's the Exploding Star, which, yeah, helps your mobbing quite a bit. Oh, and here's a boss. Too bad it's gonna die. Oh, and I have a... Yeah, I didn't get any drops because of the thing. Alright, so, yeah, I guess I'll show some bossing. Now, I guess while I show the bossing, is Night Lord a good boss mule? To that I say no. I do not believe this class is a good boss mule. I mean, if you're... Okay, so the reason it's not a good boss mule is because all of your damage... Your damage comes from your burst. And if you defeat bosses too quickly, you're not going to have your burst for all the bosses. So it's, yeah, some bosses will take longer than others, and it's just not great as a boss mule for that reason. Because let's say I beat Zakum, right? And then I go to the next boss, which is Magnus. I'm not going to have my burst ready for Magnus, so I have to wait for it to be up. If I want to take out Magnus quickly. And then by the time I'm done with Magnus, I won't have it for Hilla. Well, okay, after doing Hilla, because I don't usually use my burst on Hilla, I'd then move on to the next boss and have my burst ready. But because this class is so burst heavy, yeah, it's just not... I did it twice. It's not a good boss mule. I mean, it is, because it does a lot of damage, but it's not because of the thing that I mentioned, which is in between bosses, you'll be waiting for your burst. So, let's see, let's activate this, that. I don't have my link skills, whoops. That. I don't really know the... Holy, that's loud. So yeah, as you can see, even without my link skills, and I think my Legion is set to EXP, this class is very good at bossing. However, now I'm going to go do Hilla, who is known to have very little HP compared to a lot of the other hard bosses. And you'll see, without burst, this class is just... I mean, you could still do damage for sure. It's just I think Night Lord is the class that has like the biggest ratio between their burst damage and not. In fact, let me find the exact number that someone said. All right, well that's crazy. They said 460% burst on burst versus not. That is definitely the biggest difference in any other class. Because like most other classes, when you burst, yeah, you're doing more damage, but it's not like too crazy different from your, normal damage. Night Lord just like, you feel like you're not doing damage outside of your burst. Because your burst is just so good that, yeah, it just feels that way. Anywho. So to make up for that, you basically want to use your other fifth job skills in order to get your damage. It also has no iframes, so yeah, that also makes it not good as a boss mule. It requires a bit of funding compared to a lot of other classes as a boss mule. It's just yeah, not the best class as a boss mule. And like I said, without using my burst, pretty much on any of my other boss mules, this fight would have been over already, even without using burst. So yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't really like this class. But I usually go into why when I stream. By the way, my stream is twitch.tv/QWantsCute. I also have a VOD channel, by the way. Wants Cute VODs, if you want to check out my stream without any music or anything like that. Just my voice, I guess. You just want to have something playing in the background. Yeah, I think that's the end of the video. I don't really know if there's anything else for me to explain. Yeah, I don't know. This class. There is someone who requested this video, which is why I bumped it up a little bit, because someone was like, hey, can you make a Night Lord video? I'm like, yeah, sure. But I'm sorry. This class, it is simple. It's a simple class. I could have did this video in like 15 minutes, honestly, but you know me, I like to stretch out my videos. So yeah, TLDR is every job advance, you're going to be replacing your skills. So Lucky 7 first, then, Shuriken, and then Shuriken gets replaced by Triple Throw, and then you actually get a mobbing skill, Shuriken Challenge, which then gets replaced by Showdown, and then Triple gets replaced by Quad. And yeah, there's this class is interesting. Like I said, it's a glass cannon. You don't have any iframes. You don't have healing or self-healing. You don't have a self-revive. You do have a dash now, though. Like, the dash is kind of helpful for, like, micro movements. But yeah, it's just this class. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be so negative on this class. Okay. Let me be positive. Amazing burst. Your burst is the best in the entire game. Crazy good. Dark Sight, also amazing, even though other classes have Dark Sight as well, and they have other tools to survive, but like, still. And then why does this class also become, it's like a mid-range fighter, and then it suddenly becomes a close-range fighter when you're using Spread Throw, or Barrage, or whatever it's called. I'm sorry, I have too many complaints about this class, but it's not that it's a bad class, it's just not the right class for me. You will probably enjoy it. It's just not for me. There's amazing things about this class. Anyway, I'm gonna stop trying to convince you guys that I... Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you on my next video. And yeah, don't forget to check out the streams or the VOD channel. Twitch.tv/KioWantsCute, and I don't remember what I know my VOD channel is called KioWantsCute VODs, but I don't remember what the link is. Probably youtube.com/KioWantsCute VODs or something. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Goodbye. Oh, actually, I forgot to show an example of dodging debris, so here we go. Guess I'll go do Magnus. Again, without link skills or anything, so yeah. Let's activate this, activate that. And again, Dark Sight's just amazing. Just allows you to avoid the debris, the poison on the left side of the map, or the right side of the map, whichever. I wonder if you can jump over his spin. I'm about to try it. Yeah, you can. Nice. Oops. Holy moly! Ooh, my health. Oh, whoops. Oh, you know, I forgot to mention that the dash gives you Dark Sight if you combo it. At least I'm pretty sure it does. Look, I would have died so many times over if I didn't have Dark Sight. Anywho, time to burst. Alright. Hold on, stay right there.
And now for the explosion. This looks flexible.
And yeah. That's Night Lord. Kinda wish there was a way to like stop being in barrage mode. Like stop the fifth job skill early. For, you know, just to move on to the next boss and still have it. Because like by the time I get to the next boss, I'm only gonna have like 5 seconds left on spread throw. So if there was a way to like press it again to shorten the cooldown, but also shorten the duration, I'd be okay with that. Or something, I don't know. Anywho, yeah, I guess we'll get back to the video. Or maybe this is at the end of the video, in which case, thanks for watching.